Yes, we got a fish. Must be a good 20 minutes going around the edges of the waters before picking this fish up. Nice fish there. Full finned. Good fish. Off he goes. Well, I'm first on the water this morning. Bit of a surprise. Probably the only one that didn't read the forecast. I'm looking in the logbook and I'm looking at what's been happening over the last few days because I haven't been on the water for a while. The boys and myself have had a bit of a trip up in Garnfrood. We get ourselves a log cabin and we're up there for what, five days, so you'll see that on a video at some point. But I'm looking in the logbook in the cabin. I know there was a stock in here on the Monday. I'm now on the Saturday. You could see that there was a lot of fish being caught. Things like dowback, buzzers. There was a fair few variations of pattern. And as the days progressed, right up to yesterday, it was dreadful. It was blank. I was expecting it to be a bit difficult. I know the conditions today is much the same as it was yesterday. We're getting this horrible easterly wind. Cold, windy, rainy. It's just terrible, really. So I've been hammering the water. What I've done is I've set up with my Dye 2, so I can search the waters right through the columns. If I want to go down a bit deeper, keep it up a bit higher. Obviously, if I'm keeping it higher, I'm obviously going to move it quicker. It's quite a small lure, really. It's probably only, if it ain't 2 inches long. But as I say, I've had those 2 hits and the 1 fish, and fin perfect. They're quite hard fighting as well, but that one didn't fight quite as hard as we normally expect for this time of the year. Sinking braid, it's a slow sink braid, which is 5 foot, and then another 10 foot of tippet right through to the black and green frits. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a tricky day. So we'll have another bash, see how we get on. Had a good hit then. Oh, again, it's just not sticking. I'll check my hook. Nothing wrong with it. I must be hitting that tail, and yeah, it's still a short pattern. What I'll do is just pick the pace up a bit. Try and encourage them to get a mouthful. What I'm doing, just letting it go down a little bit more, because obviously it was this half of the retriever and I was getting a few more hits, and probably just that bit lower. This is pretty windy down here. Yes. Oh, and he's off. No, he's not. No, he took my fly. Damn. That wasn't very good. Okay, I don't know if you've seen that, but it wasn't a hard hit or nothing. There must have been something wrong with my tippet or something, because there was nothing heavy about it. It was just a fast figure of 8. Fish picked me up, bang, 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 swam away. It didn't feel like a snap as such. Checked my tippet, seems fine anyway. There could have been a bit of something there. Put another pattern on. I'm quite happy with what I've got. I don't know if I'll change it to a damsel or anything. What you're confident in, and then it's about getting it at the right speed or the right level. Stick with it. What I'm doing there, and just cast it out and I'll retrieve it a bit quicker sooner, and I'll just, each cast I'll just let it drop down a bit deeper until I get to the point where I'm hitting the weed. Got to watch the back cast as well. There's not much room there. That's only about 20 foot back cast you can get there. That wind behind me is playing buggery. You can't, wind's pushing so hard behind me that you're not able to get a really good loading of the rod. Yes. So decide, okay, put it back out, stripping it really quick. That hit that pretty hard this time. That's another good fish. And the hook's out already, that was good. Okay, off you go, bud. Okay, so it is a bit slow. Covered a good bit of the water actually. Okay, so the batteries went flat when I was in that one arm, stripping it in a lot quicker. I continued fishing to finish that arm, and you ain't gonna believe it, nothing happened. I didn't get another touch, and I did go round into the top bay. So go back here, have a coffee, have a rethink. Total change now. I'm going to go now onto the floater. There has been one or two fish moving near the top. It's not many. What I'm going to put on then, I've got a small little shipman's buzzer. Mind you, the weather's picking up a bit. From here it feels like the wind's dropped a bit. I'm not sure until I get onto the other side of the lake. What I'll do is just give this a go for a while. And then from that, I did have an idea of fishing the indicator. I don't do much fishing with an indicator. I don't really enjoy the indicator fishing because you concentrate on watching that damn thing all the time. But I can't do that anyway. I got some indicators, but all the patterns that I want to put below the indicator, one of the boys have got now, because we were up at Garnfruit last week, a lot of different patterns in 2 fly boxes, and the boys were quite fancying them, and I thought I ain't going to be using them much today, so I gave them the fly boxes. Forgot to get them back, they still got them. So Sam's going to pop up probably later, and hopefully he'll have my fly boxes with him. We might be able to try a few things like the eggs, blobs, and them sort of patterns. He's also got my suspender buzzers in there. There's a good few patterns, some good patterns that we could be trying right now. But he won't be long. He's going to finish work and he's going to come straight up onto the water. So the sun's out, brilliant. Get the glasses on. Done. Ready to go. Right, somewhere there. I wasn't actually aiming to put the cast there, I was actually meaning to put it over there. The wind just brought it round. Yes, oh, and he's off. Oh, I didn't even strike that, I could feel that. That just tightened up on me. That felt nice. wasn't even looking. It just come up, I felt it, it was on. It is a very small hook, mind. Can't see the fly, but hopefully if I'm keeping my line just a little bit taut, if it picks it up They haven't got long, but if I've got contact, I should be able to pick up on it. As I'm fishing blind anyway, I may as well put a decent cast out. See if I can pick up any other fish out there. You know, it might come up for it, hook itself. Luckily I've got the wind behind me, so that's helping me keeping my line and keeping me in contact with that fly. So, you know, all I got to do is just keep that contact, fish comes up, grabs hold of it, and it should tighten into it straight away. I should be able to hook it. It's slow though. I tell you what, a couple of these fish that are coming up is quite chunky. I think they're the better of the fish that are coming up on the top here. What normally happens is sometimes it goes a bit quiet, and I think while it's quiet, go and have a tea break. Get the kettle on, and there, having my tea break. Look out the window, and I see it comes to life. As soon as I get back out again, they go off. So I'm thinking, pretend to have a tea break and hide. But I've not had an offer or a touch since that one, and it felt the hook. I tell you what, they gotta be switched on. They're going out there, and he's going around, swimming around, telling his mates. He may have drawn a picture of my fly and telling them, "Don't eat this." That's what you would tell your kids if you had that. You'd tell your kids, "Don't eat that. It's not edible." I still can't see my fly, mind. I'm looking in that direction. I just know it's in a zone. So maybe if something in that 10-foot area, maybe have a go. And see if you can get a bit on there. I don't know if you can see much. Mind you, say you can't see much, I can't see much, and there's nothing much happening anyway. Okay, I've just had a bit of interest. What I was doing last night, tied up a couple of these small little things with a bit of white foam on. With a very small bit of white foam. I can only see it when it's in close, but it sits a lot lower in the water because there's a lot less of the foam. Put it out there near the fish that was moving. Took a bit of interest. It turned for it. A couple of fast figure of 8s, and it came up, and I just missed it. Again, I've got to rely on contact because I can't see nothing. I only put that big line out then. I've seen a fish or two move in where it's the same fish. Looks a cracking fish. I'm just hoping. Oh, he took it. I don't know if you've seen that. I felt fish on, and that was a good fish too. Seems like they've gone off again. Okay, picked another fish up. Obviously I didn't have many of the cameras running. One's in charging, the other I've got to hold off until Sam gets here. I'm a bit stuck with the GoPro. I forgot to, what's the word, not defrag, you know, take all of the last lot of footage off. And I'm a bit confused with it, so Sam knows his stuff on this, so he's going to sort that for me when he gets here, hopefully. So all I had really was the underwater camera, so you're able to see it was fighting under the water there. Now what was happening, obviously I was on that little floaty thing, that went dead, fish went down, and the fish today are being very difficult. So I thought, okay, try more of a natural approach. Now, a couple of weeks back, because the policy on the water here has changed, whereas we got to kill the first fish, catch and release thereafter. When the fish was home and I was gutting it, I went through its stomach contents, and out came probably about 7 small dark coloured buzzers, very small, and 3 nymphs, and the bigger nymph was probably not far off an inch long. 2 of these nymphs, they were still alive. So I've studied them very carefully, and then I get tying some nymphs. Now the thing is, when I've tied patterns to match exactly what's in the water, I find I struggle with them. They don't always seem to work, and it's something that's a bit different that tends to work. I think if you get the scale right and you're at the right levels and right pace and whatever, that's it maybe. But so I put it on, I think it was second cast, and I was putting it out towards the margins. I want to try and reduce the amount of water I'm fishing in. I find that when I'm in very, very deep water, you've got a lot of area to cover, and a lot of the fish do move in towards the marginal areas. Less water to cover means I can get to fishing a bit quicker. It's just easier. So what I've decided to do now, I'm going to leave that same nymph on a point fly. I've got, again, about a 15-foot tippet. The nymph's on the point fly. I'm going with my red buzzer, it's a size 14, probably 4 foot up off the point, and then off the first dropper I'm about 2.5 foot off the end of the intermediate braid. So I'm going to put that out, let it come round in the wind, fishing it static, if you call it static, but letting it come round in that bit of a wind. I'll fish it static, I'll do whatever, and if that ain't working I'll start picking it up and start retrieving, because I do know that we call it a buzzer, but it's a bug to the fish, and sometimes if it moves, it gets it. Okay, what I've decided to do now is put the buzzer and the nymph across the wind, fishing it static. I'm not static, but I'm fishing it static. So I can put the buzzers out, put a couple of mends in, let them drop a bit, and fish it around in the wind. Static. It's not static, is it? It's moving in the wind. But yeah, but I've got to say, I'm not feeling very confident with the buzzers at the moment. This water is always a bit slow with the buzzers, but in saying that, I know a lot of waters around these areas are very late on the buzzers this year at the moment anyway. But we'll give it a go. I don't know if this is going to come out, but I've picked a fish up at last. Not sure where it's on the nymph. So obviously the camera will probably go back off again now in a minute. It's very low on, actually shouldn't. I've got 39% of battery, and okay, just picked up another fish. I'm on the die 2. It didn't go down very deep, but this is a pattern that I've had in my fly box for a very long time, and I've been talking with the boys, and one of the boys, Steve, said to me a while back, he says, why ain't we using our older traditional patterns? We used to catch a lot of fish on them old patterns. It did make me think when I stood there just now looking at it, I thought, go on then, we'll put it on. And bugger me. There's only a couple of casts with it, and it picked me up. And I tell you what, this is one scrapping hell of a fish. It smashed it quite hard too. I cast in, I was just letting it drop a little bit. It couldn't have gone very deep at all. Whoa, and he's off. I got my fly, that's the main thing. Cracking, loved it. I think it's more the case of, you know, I can have so many casts now and nothing. It just happened to be cast there, it dropping, and that fish that wanted to have it happened to be in the same place at the same time. I think that's more like it. We'll soon find out. Oh, I'm not sure then. Yes, and again, oh, and he's off. Let's hope the fly's still there. Unbelievable. Just found a pattern that's working. Come back to the old days. Oh, it's still there. I was going to say, I'd be buggered, I better take a picture of this thing. I've only got the one. So damn old. Hang on a minute. I thought I had a fly on. I don't know what happened there. Unbelievable. That, I'm certain that fly was on there. Game over. I don't know what happened. It's gone. At least I got a bit of an idea what it looked like. Biggest problem is my memory. I may never get there again. Damn. I've got to really try hard now to picture it in my head. I should have checked that. Okay, lesson learnt there. That last fish hit it quite damn hard. It might have been on the edge of going. Ah, shit. Never mind. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. For me, the day, it was a challenge. It wasn't easy, but I tell you what, I really loved the whole day. It's days like this where you pick things up, you know. I would never have, if I would have gone through my normal sort of patterns in the fly box, that old fly would have still been in the fly box. Now, Steve made a point to me several months ago, and it was about why ain't we using some of the old traditional flies that we used to use years ago, and we used to do quite well. Things do change. After that experience, I think what I'll do is just obviously try and remember what it was. I'm certain it's got to be partridge. I use a lot of partridge in a lot of my patterns. I'll start there. I think I'll be near enough on it. A few tweaks with it, do a few variations and give them a go. It might be that at that moment there was a good few fish in that area. Could be a lot of luck there too. Do need a bit of luck now and again. Them fish, if they weren't out by there, they could have been over there, whatever. But for me, it's been a brilliant day. That was so exciting. I know there weren't many fish to the net, but it was a really enjoyable day. So all I've got to do now, hope that I put the whole thing together nicely to justify the day. Not justify, but I hope I can edit the whole thing to give the day credit, because today was, it was just different. Then again, every day is different on the water. Somebody did say to me once, I've heard it a few times actually, fish in the same water all the time. It was mentioned not long ago, a colleague of mine, and he said, don't you get bored of fishing the same water all the time? It's not the same water every day. And for a lot of you, you'll understand this. It's because every day we go fishing, it's different. The fish are behaving, the weather, the condition, everything is different. And you're picking things up all the time, so it's not the same. It's never going to be. If it was the same, we would learn from that, and then the next day we would better, and we can. It would be probably a bit boring then, because bugger it. But no, I'm not bored of the place. I love the place. It's a great water. We've got good quality water, good quality hard fighting fish. And as I say, not every day is the same. It's always different. But I'm waffling. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell for future notification. Give us a thumbs up, and it'd be great to get a comment. But until the next video, take care. Look at that, you wouldn't even believe it was the same day when you're looking at that. Such a lovely end to the day. Stunning. And the fish still ain't moving on the top.